Hello, hello, hello. Hi to the one person that's sitting in the chat already. Um, y'all know I can come over here and talk to the air, which I am now because the one person left. But anyways, how y'all doing today? Um, Once again today, I feel like I shared something with somebody and I didn't get a good response. Um, and not necessarily that I'm looking for a good response, but for a long time, um, I could say probably like 20 years or more. Probably been longer than that. I just ain't never been paying attention to it. That I have dreams, and I don't have them all the time, but when I do have dreams, um I share them with the people who I have who I have the dream about. And mostly in my past, um it was always about people who are closely related to me, or in my family or whatever. So whatever the dream is, I always share with them. And for the most part, mostly all of them just listen to what the dream is about or whatever. And I can say that almost every dream that I've told somebody about, in my dream, they've always come to pass. So, um, and a couple of them I started laughing because one of them I told about a dream that I had, and I got cussed out. But I expected to get cussed out, and then I was fine with it. I actually laughed with him, and I told him, "There's nothing that you need to do. You don't need to change nothing. There's nothing you need to do. I'm just telling you what the dream was about, and I believe everything that I saw in in the dream." Um, but anyway, she cussed me out. She cussed me out from A to Z from having that dream because the dream was about somebody who she was gonna marry. But she is definitely at odds with him right now. So she ain't want to hear no parts of that dream or whatever. And I just laughed with her or whatever. But anyway, she cussed me out. And we had a good laugh about it and we moved on. But usually when I share a dream with a family member or whatever, they just like listen to what I said and they be like, "Oh, okay then," or whatever. So today I had a dream. Well, last night I had a dream. And it wasn't a bad dream or anything. And I don't know if I don't really want to share what the dream was about. At least right now, I don't want to. I may end up sharing it anyways, but right now I just don't feel like I want to share what was in the dream. It wasn't bad, and it wasn't good, but I feel like it's a warning. So, whether you want to receive the warning or not. But anyways, um things I feel like things are moving in. Hi Marina. I think I'm saying your name right, but yeah, I feel like there are messages, and I'm telling you, every one of them that I've dreamed or whatever, they've always happened. But anyways, I'm gonna tell you. Um, okay, good. I don't want to mess up anybody's name. So, anyways, last night I had a dream, and I told y'all before, and like sometimes I be trying to like catch my dreams, and I can't remember what they are when I get up, but I can sometimes remember what they are about. I'm more passionate now about like when I wake up from the dream is like trying to remember what it's about. Hey, change is good. I like your name. Change is good. I'm going through a lot of changes, and they seem like they harmful to me, but I know they're not harmful to me. They are good changes. So thank you for coming through with just the name. um but anyways, last night I had a dream, and it was basically a warning about uh you having your kids around somebody who is not going in the same direction where you're trying to take your child. So, yes, the ones we remember are meant for us to remember. Okay, then. So, I got up, I got up, and for a minute, I wasn't going to tell the person about the dream, but I already know that if I have a dream about something and I don't tell the person about it or something, it seems to like it bothers my spirit for the rest of the day. Like it's a nagging thing. It's like it just does not go away. It's like a ringing bell in your ear. You ever get a bell in your ear and then like it won't stop? The bell won't stop going off or whatever. This thing becomes very annoying to me that when you can't, like, you can't turn it off. You just keep hearing it on repeat, repeat all day long. So I was like, okay, then let me call them and let me tell them like what I dreamed about last night. And for the first time, and yes, this is a family member. And for the first time, um, and I must say, I'm gonna tell about how I felt about it and everything. And I instantly went to silent and I'm like, I don't understand this and everything. So I went to silent and I right now I'm not even responding to this person anymore because I know it had to do with the people that they are around right now at this moment. So when I said what I said to them, and I told you it's a warning about you having your kids around people and they're teaching your kids the opposite, which works against a parent. If you trying to teach your kids one thing and then you taking your kids and putting them around people who doing the opposite of what you're trying to do, that's working against you. So me as well, because you have to possibly prevent you possibly prevented something. Yes. Um, but this time when I to me, and just like I said, it's a warning. When I said what I said to the person, they said to me, the next time you have a dream or something like that, told me to keep it to myself. Now, I've never gotten that response before, ever. But he told me to keep it to myself. Don't tell him the next time. Now, when he said that, my feelings did get involved. I felt some type of way. Um, I felt some type of way. And I felt some type of way for several different reasons. Some of them, um, I'm not going to share why I felt some type of way about it. But well, change is good. What you just said, and that would be my last time, and I'm finna. That's what I was going to go to next, because one of the first things that I start to feel was, okay, if you're telling me the next time that I have one of those dreams to keep it to myself, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. You ain't got to worry about me calling you and warning you not one other time. Because this is somebody who I done warned about several things and they done went through hell and high water. And even when they was going through the hell and high water, all of the things that I warned them about, everything that I warned them about, it happened. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, then you don't got to worry about me telling you anything else. I'm gonna let the chips fall where they may. But then I started thinking, but I was like, okay, God, if this is something you've given me to do and I'm doing it, I'm not gonna be obedient to the person that's saying that to me. I'm gonna be obedient to you. But my feelings ain't got nothing to do with that. I still feel the way that I will, because the first thing that rose up is my flesh, and my flesh was like, well, the next time you ain't got to worry about me calling you and warning you about anything. So, let me see. I'm gonna try and look through my phone to see if I can. Well, anyways, after um I'm learning you can't change anyone. You can give advice, but they don't want to receive it. They will learn eventually. Then they will wish they listen. Oh, Marina. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I done given so many warnings about so many other things, and then they didn't want to listen. And then when they end up out there, when they end up out there in that big old pond, and they tired of swimming, then guess who they start to call on to come rescue them and throw them a life jacket when you done tried to give them the warning. Me. So for me, I don't know what this means is as I'm supposed to back off of this person, but then let me tell you that I feel like this person, I'm going through the same with my Marina. Let me tell you something. Mm-mm-mm. I see you, you see me. Same old thing. See, because I said I wasn't gonna say. Sometimes we're not the right messenger. Well, I feel like I am the right messenger, but I feel like because they're in front of the one that I'm warning them about. And this is another thing that I've told people who watch me before. There's this thing that when I talk to people on the phone, for some reason, they don't want to just put me on the regular telephone. They love to put me on speakerphone. And if you were to put me on speakerphone, I'm gonna just tell you point blank period. I'm the kind of person I don't give a damn if you put me on speakerphone. If you put me on speakerphone and I'm saying what I'm saying to you, then that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. Because I'm calling you to say whatever it is. I don't got time to be trying to figure out whether you got me on speakerphone or I gotta tell you to leave and go to another room while I say to you what I'm saying to you. Because I'm not calling all of those people. I'm calling you to personally talk to you. When I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I don't pick up my phone and put that person on speakerphone without saying to you, okay, I got you on speakerphone and somebody over here. If I got you on speakerphone, I'm in here all by myself, talking by myself. There's nobody else here to hear what you got to say. And if it is somebody here, then um I'm gonna let you know. And you want me to take you off speakerphone, then fine and dandy. But it's not my job to try and figure out when I call you on the phone, do you got me on speakerphone for 15 people to hear? So if you and that's something that has happened to me over and over and over again. And by now, if people don't know that I don't give a damn about you putting me on speakerphone, because I'm gonna say the same thing that I said when I'm on speakerphone as is when I'm off speakerphone. Point blank period. Let me go back and read. Um Sometimes we are not the right. I made read that. Glad I came across your live. They don't listen to us because they think we don't know ish. Change is good. You absolutely right. But then if after you done gave them the message 500 times and they done seen that every time you done gave them the warning and everything, and then they see, yeah, that did happen. Yeah, that did happen. Yeah, that did happen. The same thing over and over again. But yet and still, you're here giving the message, and you got to get it the hard way. And maybe the message is for me. Maybe this next time when you don't give the warning, and then they didn't take heed to the warning. Next time you let them be out there and be in that ocean swimming by their own self, and then you don't throw them no life jacket, whether they your kids or not. So I don't know. I'm just talking. That's very true, but you would expect them to listen to Mama. I don't know. Oh, my kids put me on speakerphone, and yes, I say stuff on purpose. That's why I love Shauna. We can relate. Uh, okay, so and I'm not only speaking that it's my kids. I'm telling you, It don't have to be my kids. It can be cousins, aunties. uh, Let me just tell you a story. One time I'm calling my auntie and I'm telling her, well, first of all, she was calling me, telling me about issues she was having with people that was living in her house and everything. So after she done called me, yes, she called me in private when none of those people ain't there, but not the people done came home. And I'm calling her back to talk to her because earlier I didn't have time to talk to her about the situation that we talking about. So now I'm calling her back, and the people who living in the house with her is back home in the house with her. Well, now she got me on speakerphone saying whatever it is. I'm responding to her about what she called me earlier and talked to me about. I'm responding to her about um whatever we talked about earlier. But now all of a sudden she has me on speakerphone, and she's letting the people she called me about earlier listen to everything that I'm saying about them. And I'm not throwing her up under the bus or no nothing, but she letting them listen to me. And because the people that she letting listen to what I'm saying about them living in her house for as long as they've been there, and all of the things she complaining about, she let them listen, and they got offended by what I was saying and ended up getting up and moving out of her house because based off of the things that I was saying. So it made it look like I'm just a person sitting here talking about something, and I'm no, we live 2 and 3 hours away from each other. So whatever I'm saying to you, this is all for the basis of what you calling me talking to me about. I don't know nothing about your stuff over there, but I'm the person you calling to vent to me about the situation. But anyways, you letting them listen to me on speakerphone. So I always have like little stuff like that everybody always have me on speakerphone. I don't care who it is. I don't think it's a person that I ever talked to before. Maybe one person, I don't know. But every time I'm talking to somebody, always got me on speakerphone. And so with that being said, I just don't care. But anyways, this person um tells me on the phone, uh yeah, the next time you got one of your little dreams or something like that you want to share, keep that to yourself or whatever. And I was like, huh? What did you say? He was like, yeah, keep it to your own self. I was like, oh, all right then. And I got off the phone, and almost probably if this was probably like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, my feelings would have probably been so hurt I would have started crying. Not literally crying, but maybe a tear would have fell out my eye. But eh, this time, that didn't happen, but it, just crossed me. And I was just like, okay, then the next time that it does happen, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it to myself. But then as I keep going, and I'm like, God, what was that? Why did I get that response from the person? So then the next thing I start thinking about, oh, they probably had me on speakerphone, or they probably was right in front of the people who I may be saying something about. I'm not necessarily, I don't know, whatever it is. But my concern ain't none of those people. I don't be around people like that anyways, but I don't care. Even if the person called me and asked me, was I talking about them? Possibly you, might be you. I still ain't gonna change what I said. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. I would repeat it again. But then the next thing that happens, as I'm out there, I went out to my garden and I started, watering my garden and stuff like that. And I noticed that before, my garden was very stagnant. It was stuck in the same place, like nothing was growing. It was just there. Everything is stayed little tiny, like you just planted and everything. And I kept wondering, why is my garden stagnant? And I always say, like, I take whatever's going on in my garden and I tie it to my real life, and to like see like how I grow in life. My garden is, that it speaks to my life. Anyways, so um as I'm standing out there in the garden and I'm doing what I'm doing, I see my garden is not stagnant anymore. So it's stuff is starting to grow back again or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm still praying and I'm asking God, okay, what was that about? The next thing I hear is I have my phone in my pocket. My phone goes off, and it's the person who I just called on the phone and told them about the dream that I had. And the response, the gist of, and I when I'm saying what somebody said to me in a text message, because it's in a text message, I like to say what was in the text message. Let me see, can I open up my tablet and read text message back to you? Because I don't like to put words, in people's mouth whenever they say something. If I got it right in front of me, I like to read exactly what it is. But I didn't respond. I didn't respond to the message or anything like that. So I'm gonna see, can I get, so I can literally say to you what exactly it was that I got. And y'all, I don't be knowing how to use this stuff anyways, but continue. Okay. Well, anyways, it ain't showing on here, and I don't want to hit no buttons on this phone, so then I'd be done jacked y'all up and everything, because I'm not no computer wizard or whatever. But anyways, while I'm out there and I'm going through my garden and I'm watering everything and I'm just praying and I'm asking God, like, what is that? Why did I get that kind of response? And basically trying to get out my feelings is what I'm trying what I'm trying to do, because your feelings and what's going on with God ain't got nothing to do with each other. Nothing at all to do with each other. But the next thing I get is I get a text message that says, yeah, that was kind of weird. You could have told me to go to another room or something else. And then they ended it with LOL. Again, I just said, if I'm calling you on the phone, I didn't call whole North Carolina. I called one specific person. So if I'm talking to you and you got me on speakerphone, or you got your phone so loud for everybody in the world to hear whenever you talking to me, then you should have got up immediately when I told you that I had a dream. And you already know how it is when I have a dream. I'm not calling you to tell you about nothing that's little bitty and tiny or whatever. It is a warning. You've had this experience with me, God knows how many times. If you know I'm going into talking about a dream, why are you still sitting around these people that you trying to now make me a weirdo for calling you and telling you about a dream that I had? Instantly then I knew it wasn't about me being the weird one. It was about you being the uncomfortable one, because you didn't want the person to know that I'm saying about it, which I've been saying stuff about them a long time ago. A long time ago. And interestingly, it's people who you introduced to me. And I ain't never liked them from the get-go. So that don't got nothing to do with me, but all of a sudden I became the weird one. And when I say I don't like the person, it's not because of the way they act, or um or the things they say. No, none of that. Um Sometimes you just ain't the cup of tea that people want to hang around. So if you're a person that deals in witchcraft and you worship the moon and the stars and all of that, you're not my cup of tea. And that just is what it is. Maybe because I worship God, I worship Jesus Christ. Maybe I'm not your cup of tea. That does not bother me. Neither and I'm not saying like I hate the person. Hopefully y'all can hear me because my phone just rang. But um I just always speak as if and I'm reading Veronica Perry's comment. I just always speak as if I'm always on speakerphone, even if I'm not, LOL. And yes, I say things on purpose too, in case someone needed to hear a good word. Yeah, and I just feel like I'm not coming from a place of where I'm trying to be um mean or anything. How could I be? I don't know who you standing in front of or know none of that stuff like that right there. I'm just I'm telling you, that thing is like a bell ringing in my ear whenever I hear something. So I don't got time to be held for who you standing around who you standing around when your phone ring or go off or any of that stuff. And let me tell you something. What's so funny that as I'm talking to you all, the person that just said that I'm so weird and everything, just texted me and told me that his child was trying to call me. What a coincidence. How? Why? At this moment. But anyways, you can't make this stuff up. Yeah. I don't try to change like the way I speak or whatever. If the person on the phone, they just on the phone. I can stand in whatever it is that I'm saying. I don't like the echo. I don't like people talking in the background. I just hang up. And I don't really hear. I don't even hear an echo or know nothing. I don't know that. I don't know if I'm on speakerphone. A lot of times, if I am on speakerphone, I don't learn until later because then there is something else that starts to happen in the background. Maybe the person who I was talking to on the phone and another person that was in the room when I said what I said or whatever, they get into it because of what I'm saying or whatever. Um, and then I'll find out later that they got into it. So like I was telling y'all before, when my auntie had put me on speakerphone one night I'm in Gifford, Florida. Y'all, for those of y'all who know, y'all just know where Gifford is. But anyways, Gifford, Florida is where I am from. So when I'm on the right this one night I'm over and I told you I had one of my aunts had a stroke and I went to Gifford to take care of her. And one of my relatives came over to see me and we were sitting on the back porch. And I was telling her about this one night that I was talking to my auntie on the phone and I was telling my auntie all of the things that I said to my auntie. I'm now telling my cousin what I said about her on the phone, which was the cousin that was living with my auntie at the time, right? And every time I said something to my cousin about what was said on the phone that night, because I'm telling y'all now how I found out, because end up the story always end up coming back to me as like, oh yeah, I know. So I'm out there telling her about what I said. And I'm not telling her because like I feel guilty. We just happen to be talking about a conversation based off of this. And we going into it, and I'm telling my cousin, everything that I said, what I was saying about her on the phone. And every time I said something to her, she kept saying, I know. I know. And I was like, wait a minute now. After she said I know about 4 or 5 times, I turned around and looked at her. I say, okay, then I keep telling you stuff, and you keep saying to me, you know. I say, how you know that I said all of this stuff? She said, because your auntie had you on speakerphone. And she said I heard everything. She said she kept walking back and forth through the living room while she had you on speakerphone. And she said, and on the same day that she was walking back and forth through the thing, back and forth through the thing, she said, while you was talking to her, she said, I told my kids to get up and pack their stuff. And that's the same day we moved out of her house. So now I get the truth of, yeah, you on the phone. You on the phone on speakerphone. So why does that have anything to do with me? If you choose to put me on speakerphone, and you got a room full of people or whatever, what I'm talking about, whatever I said while we on speakerphone, I can repeat the same thing over and over again because I'm not doing it maliciously. I'm telling you what I feel like I need to tell you, and the rest you can take that up with God. That's between you and him, not me. But I'm a weirdo because you either had me on speakerphone or your phone was up too loud. And now I'm a weirdo because you sitting in front of these people. And I talk to you the same way. I don't care what color people you got me in front of. Because I don't have no respect for people like that. I talk to my black people the same way that I would talk to a white person, a Mexican person, whatever race you are. People, to me, people are people. And it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to switch up something because it is what it is. If I said it to you in private and you want to bring it to the forefront, then baby, let's go ahead and let's talk about it. We gonna go ahead and talk about it. And do would I want to put it in context sometimes? Absolutely, I do, because sometimes people can say, like you said something, and they can make it seem like you said it in like a negative way or whatever like that. No, let me put it in context for you, how this conversation even came up or whatever. It's just like that. Yes, that's true, and that's always a God on our planet. They don't heard you. Well, they probably did hear what I say, but then again, I ain't never shied away from them. No ways. I blocked it. Actually, this person had my phone number before, and my son knows. And see, there it is. It already came out. He already know that. One time this person came into town later um after I found out what they deal in or whatever, and then and some other situations had went down or whatever. Yeah, it's just a whole lot, and I don't even want to dredge that stuff up. Y'all have to go back and look at the stories because I done been through a whole bunch of junk, right? But um when they came here, he wanted me to come and show face to these people. And I'm like, no, I don't need to see them. They don't add nothing to my life and they don't take nothing away from me. But because he didn't want to feel like it was, oh, but she's cool, she's this and she's that. No, I just ain't, I don't got time to play those kind of games right there. So no, um, I don't need to go and see them. And he was just so irritated that I wouldn't go and show face to these people. And I'm like, she don't owe me nothing and I don't owe her nothing. And I ain't go and see him and still don't want to see him. Good riddance. Goodbye. um yeah, that was them calling. That was them calling. If I can't be myself around anyone, I don't want it. Right. Hey Phoenix. Um some people don't give a ish about their mom. They only care when they need a change is good. You better stop talking. Cause let me tell you something. That's the next thing that I feel. It's like long as you're around me and I can do everything it is that you need me to do, you all smiles and laughs. Then when you get around somebody else, then you want me to switch up who it is that I am. And I'm in a position, and I think I've been in this position for a long time, but I just haven't seen myself as being in that position. I'm finally coming into that thing that God has not made me a um the beggar or the borrower. I am the lender. And I don't care which way you take that in. It may not be in the sense of money or no, none of that. But my time is valuable. The things that I do for you is valuable. And right now, and you can just add that to a whole bunch of different things. I'm not the borrower. I'm the lender. And so now you're over in this place where you are, and I'm a weirdo. I'm weird. The situation is weird because I've called you and said something to you that I would have said to you on any given day. And I'm a weirdo. Hey, Shalissa. Hey, sister, I'm gonna have to rewatch this. I'm just jumping in. Well, you know what? Shalissa, you will hear a whole nother version. And you will hear the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You know how it is. We on here talking about those those situations. When I have a dream, Shalissa, if I have a dream, and I'm good at calling the family and telling them about the dreams and stuff that I have, and you know how the dreams roll. Sometimes people in my family be like, girl, don't. And when they say this part to me, I take it at, we laugh about it or whatever. They be like, girl, don't call me and tell me nothing about that. And I'm gonna say it to them anyways, and they know that it's a warning, but it always flow right on through whatever it is that I have the dream about. But I'm a weirdo today. I'm a weirdo today. And I'm not offended by the weirdo. Cause I'm going the same way like I teach my sister and them and stuff. Those words that people use against you, like y'all see me on here crying a while back about being called the liar or whatever. It took one statement from somebody to tell me. Somebody said to me to go ahead and knock that out the box. We all are liars. And he asked me, he say, and let me explain that to you. He said, I'm not trying to say that you're lying about this situation. He said, but we all done lied in our life before. So he said that would classify you as a liar. You've lied before. So, and I was like, oh, when you look at it in that way, then that makes sense. But in the situation, so I'm learning to embrace the things that people call me. And if I'm a liar, then let me be a liar. I can smile all the way through being a liar. But I know one thing about a liar cannot repeat the same story over and over again, no matter which time you ask them about the situation. If they able to repeat the story back to you, probably add a little bit more details in it or leave a little bit of details out of it or whatever. But I can call those stories right back as if they happen right now today. But it's one thing about a lie. You could tell a lie and that thing will switch up 500 different times before it's all said and done with. So now I'm a weirdo and I'm going to embrace that I'm a weirdo, because when it first came, when he first said it, that I'm that it's weird what I did. um I almost like start questioning. I come from a place where I try to make everything my fault, and I'm changing. That's the part that I'm changing up, because I come from a place of being y'all know over here, my channel initially broke out because I speak about the things that happened to me when I was a child. um I speak out about things that happened to me with my mom and stuff like that. And then I even thought about that today, is that um I had this one lady that was up under my comments a lot, and she was like saying, y'all get out of her get unsubscribe from her page, because she's dishonoring her mother and this and that. And what came to me today was, you cannot dishonor somebody with the truth. Not my truth, not his truth, her truth, or whatever, the truth. You cannot dishonor somebody with the truth. I can tell the truth on my mom and still honor her, which I do. But I can't lie and heal myself or get healing for myself if I still continue to try to live in the lie. So the truth that I know shall set me free. And that's what I've been doing. See, all of the things that I've been taught to lie about when I was a little child, pretend like this stuff wasn't happening to me, things wasn't being done to me, is now, it's like those same feelings that want to come up sometimes and say, no, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. And now I'm just like, I'm starting to send it back. I don't receive it. I don't receive it. Or I guess you would call that, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I rebuke it. So I'm in a place of where I'm constantly having to tell myself, no, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. But for a minute there, I was just like, when he said what he said, I was just like, maybe I shouldn't have called and maybe I shouldn't have said nothing. Maybe I should have waited. Maybe I should, but I just finished telling y'all. This thing is like a bell ringing in my ear when a word is inside of me or something that I'm supposed to say to somebody. It is like that bell that goes off in your ear that you can't get rid of. It just have to go away on its own. Is the thing that lets me know that word will replay in my head over and over and over and over and over again. One time I held on to something that I was supposed to tell somebody one day. I held on to it for 24 hours. Let me tell you something. When I held on to it for 24 hours, that thing almost drove me crazy. Because it was like, it started out and it was like, when I first got the word, I'm like, nah, I ain't calling nobody and telling them that. To whom this concerns, you will get yours and you will come across people who will do the exact same thing to you. I don't want that for you, but you are bringing this upon yourself. Amen. And the thing is once it starts happening, don't come back to me and start talking. Don't come back to me where you always find your comfort and start talking to me about the very thing that I tried to warn you about. Now you want to use me to be the one that you can come back and pour those things into when I gave you the warning and you didn't want to hear. Like I keep saying, there's a lot of people that's around me and I see them getting ready to drive into this brick wall and I'm trying to grab the steering wheel and steer them the other way and they keep snatching the steering wheel from me. At this moment, I know, stop trying to save them and save yourself. So while the car's speeding, I'd rather jump out of the car and get skint up on the ground, maybe break an arm, a leg, or something like that. But baby, I'm jumping out. I'm jumping out of the car while you get ready to crash into this wall. And I have a habit of, I'm warning somebody and they don't want to hear the warning that I'm giving to them. And before I know it, it's almost like I feel like I'm supposed to be in there to just keep on screaming to them as if like they my baby children. You know, babies, you got to keep on them and you got to keep watching them, preventing them from hurting themselves or whatever. But these are not babies. These are adult people. And you trying to warn them about what it is. And I almost feel like, and I don't want this to be taken out of context. It's almost like I need to keep on them, warning them, warning them, warning them as if like I'm God or something. And I'm not nobody's God. I'm not God, point blank period. I'm just a vessel. I'm a human being living here on this earth. I'm a messenger, period. But it's like I try to tell them, and it's like I'm steady there trying to warn them, warn them, warn them. And that ain't what God told me to do. I don't have to stay there and watch you go through or keep trying to tell you the same thing over and over again. My job is to be the messenger, drop it off, and go ahead and move along. And so for me, that's something that I'm really learning, because I think I do that because I really don't want to see anybody be hurt. I don't want to see them go through anything. But who said I had to be there to watch and see them go through the things that they're going through? Nobody. You a weirdo until they mess around and find out. It happens. Yes. So Shalissa, you know that's my new name, weirdo. So anybody come in here and call me a weirdo, I'll accept. What it was a month ago, I was the liar. I was the liar. So and now I'm a weirdo. So I'm okay with being the weirdo, but the one thing that can't be said is I didn't give you the warning. But anyways, let me go back to explain what I was saying. I was saying about the 24 hours. I tried to hold on to that thing because I get sidetracked in a heartbeat, but I want to finish telling that, right? And I'm on this one. I'm gonna tell the whole story about this one right here, which is usually I don't share this type thing. But anyways, I'm gonna share this one. So um I'm gonna say about 20 years ago. It was longer than that. This I'm gonna say this is about, well, I'm gonna leave it at 20 something years, right? About 20 something years ago. Um Prior to that, my uncle had met a couple of women or whatever. And I see my uncle, he worked at this community college a while back. And he is a very romantic person. He is like the best man um visually that I had seen in my life as a child. But for whatever reason, I didn't like him. He had a calm way of talking. He had a calm way of talking, but it's still like he had a way of irritating the crap out of you with the truth. But anyways, he was very romantic, and at the college that he was teaching at, he he was with this girl that I didn't understand, that my grandma didn't like her or know none of this stuff, right? I didn't know that. So my grandma passed away or whatever. He was still with this girl. And while he was working at the college, he got the one of the auditoriums at the college. And he invited all his family and his friends and everything, and he set this auditorium up. And I'll just tell you one of the romantic things he did. He connected her engagement ring to a string, and the engagement ring comes out of the sky or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, right? And hey Shakira, hey, love your channel. Sending love from West Memphis. Memphis in the house. Thank you very much for coming through. Thank you. Um, he made the ring come from out of the sky and everything. He got her on stage and he talking to her and everything. And she doesn't know that she's there for an engagement. She blindfolded and everything, coming in the auditorium and stuff. Um, and he proposes to her. And after all of this is over with, imagine, okay, I have this thing and I have a dream that she is not the one, right? And I'm like, how do you watch somebody go through all of that and set all of that up, and then you have a dream that she is not the one, and you the one got to go and tell your uncle, who is like, and this another thing, I'm always factoring in age. And what they say, age ain't nothing but a number. So I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna tell him this? So I feel like I had a lot of grace with that one, but it was like one day I had him alone by himself, and I was like, She ain't it. And I just said it like that. So I said it to him and I kind of moved away from him because I didn't want the backlash or whatever from it. And at that time, there was, to me, it felt like it was like the first time that I really had to like speak something to somebody in that way. So I was like, I moved away from him. And then the next thing I know, like the situation began to dissolve. So he didn't marry her or whatever. But then he met somebody else later down the line. And she had got pregnant and she had a miscarriage. But the same day that she had the miscarriage, I had a dream that same night. Now I didn't know that she had a miscarriage. I'm telling you, must have been things was happening at the same time as I'm gonna say is what was happening. In the dream, I had a dream. Hey, Trikel. In the dream I was having, I saw her having a baby boy. Happy holidays to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I saw her having a baby boy and I saw happiness. But then I get a call from I either called my uncle or he called me. I don't know how it went. But either way, we on the phone and we talking. And I told him, I say, I just had a dream last night that you had a son, and it was everybody was just laughing and smiling and everything. And then he was like, well, and then I can hear, like after I told him, because then there was no excitement or anything in his voice. And I was like, he was like, well, he had called me because now that the story coming back, he called me and he was like, well, I was actually calling you to tell you that my wife had a miscarriage. And well, at this time, she was not his wife. She was his girlfriend. And so he was like, I was calling you to tell you that she had a miscarriage last night or whatever. And they was still at the emergency room, but they was getting ready to leave there. But he wanted to call me and tell me. I said to him, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get into what was happening at that time. And I said to him, I say, well, in my dream, this sadness that you experiencing right now is not what I seen. I saw happiness. And I said, so, but we all know God got an order to the way that he do things, right? So mind you, I'm telling you, she's not his wife at this time and she miscarried, right? So some months pass by, they get through their situation, they going through a little bit of stuff because this would have been his first child and her first child, point blank period. No children, no prior children or anything, right? So a couple of months went by, whatever, and then this one day, this 24-hour thing, right? So on this day now, I done told him already that the other girl, she'll know. She not it. So now this other girl comes along, the one that had the miscarriage, and it's like, I had this dream this one night, and I hear God say, she's the one. And I'm like, okay, then she the one. I ain't getting into that. So I thought. So I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing. So this thing is kind of like contractions for me. So when contractions start off, they start off and they be far apart, right? So I hear that in my ear. In a little bit of time, let's say 2 hours went by and I don't hear nothing else. But then when that 2 hour point come up, call him and tell him she is the one. And I'm like, I am not calling to say that. Because remember, this is my second time of having to do this. I ain't calling and saying that. So another 2 hours went by. It's back again. And now I'm starting to feel, but my stomach's starting to feel funny along with it. I ain't calling and saying that. So let's say an hour go by now. I'm still refusing to call. So the day went on and on and on like that, but it got worse and worse. And so now I'm feeling like this anxiety, this heavy anxiety feeling in my stomach. Um, and now I think I'm getting ready to go to bed with whatever it is that I got going on, and I'm finna get me a good night of sleep. I laid down and tried to go to sleep. And when I tried to go to sleep, it was almost like somebody was in my ear with a bullhorn saying, she's the one, she's the one, she's the one. And it was just like they wouldn't shut up. And imagine you so sleepy and you so tired and somebody in your ear yelling with a bullhorn. Imagine the anger you would get up, and you probably slap the bullhorn or something from out of their hand. And once you slap it out of their hand, you might give them the 1-2 a couple of times in the face after you don't knock it out. Just think, imagine you being super tired. You got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You got to go to work, and somebody yelling in your ear with a bullhorn. That type energy. That's what I'm talking about. So I jump up out of the bed and I'm so mad because this thing just won't leave me alone. So I angrily grab my phone, pick up the phone, and I dial my uncle's phone number and I call him. And for whatever reason, this had to be, I think this was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I say to my uncle, I said, I'm calling you because I'm so irritated. Like I keep hearing this thing in my ear. I said, and I got to be careful. I'm trying not to say her name, but it's just like right on the tip of my tongue because that's the way I said it. I was like, she is your wife. And I hung up the phone. I hung up the phone on my uncle. So this was like maybe like 2 o'clock in the morning. I felt like it was. But for whatever reason, I didn't catch on that it is this late or early in the morning, whichever one you want to call it. They got company over or whatever, and I didn't know that they were having like a little pool party or whatever. So I hang up the phone on him. And when I hang the phone up on him, um, he calls me back. I want to say the next morning. He could have instantly called me back. I don't know. But I called him and I hung up the phone on him immediately after I told him what I got to say to him. He calls me back and he says, and this the way my uncle, I call myself Tashana, but my uncle say Tashana. He called me Tashana. He say, Tashana girl, he said, I just wanted to call you back and say to you, he was like, you couldn't have been more on point at the timing that you call. He said, because literally at the time you called me and her were in the bathroom and we were having a discussion. She was going through like her losing the baby, like, there's some emotional things that go along with that right there. But she was going through a moment or whatever, but they were in the bathroom with each other, talking to each other about getting married. And he was like, girl, Tashana girl, you couldn't have called at a more better time. He's like, because we was sitting there talking about marriage at the time that you called. My phone rings, so when y'all can hear me when y'all can hear me talking again, somebody let me know we can hear you. um my uncle was like, Tashana girl, because I don't want y'all, I don't want to miss out on part of the story. So if y'all can hear me, somebody please let me know we can hear you. Somebody just called my phone. Okay, thank you, Phoenix. So maybe next time I probably need to go from somewhere. Hey, Empress 7, thank you very much. See life. Hey y'all, thank y'all for coming through. This is a friendly chat. Anybody over here getting disrespectful, we got people that'll get them out of here. So if y'all want to talk in here, y'all can, and I don't mind pushback as long as it's respectful or whatever. I love having conversations. So y'all don't have to be quiet over here if you don't want to. I'm a very talkative person. But okay, so let me get back to, so he telling me on the phone that they were just in the bathroom and they were talking. She was having a moment or whatever. And he was like, you couldn't call at the perfect time. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, it was a scary thing for me. And I was like, you don't even know like the fight that I was going through tonight. And I say, had it not been for that thing in my ear going off like a bell, and that thing going off in my ear like a bell, I wouldn't have even called you and told you. But anyways, let's say a couple of months went by, we got a wedding invitation. They actually got married. And then guess what? Right after they got married, she became pregnant again. Not only did she get pregnant, but I was pregnant at the same time, and me and her had our babies. Me and her had our babies less than 2 weeks apart. And guess what she had? A boy. So, that was like one of my first experiences with speaking, being a messenger. um all of that, those type things. But it was, to me it was a scary experience. It was a I can't even really explain in words like what that was, but all of those things happen. There's other people, and I ain't trying at this moment, I'm not trying to get nobody to believe, because I believe in God, point blank period. I believe in me. I believe in whatever it is that he put inside of me. There's warnings that I have given people recently, and they didn't want to hear the warning. But I don't have anything to do with that. I'm just the messenger. I'm just supposed to give the warning, and you can trust and believe. If a person get a warning from one place, it almost, that I believe, it could maybe not be true. I also feel like before somebody give you a message or a warning or something, you've already felt that something on the inside of you, or you already felt that something was coming or something was about to happen, or somebody else gave you the same warning. I can only go by the things like I heard. Like, say somebody comes to me with a message or something, it already coincides with something that I've already been praying about, or somebody else said it to me. It's like it happens to you in like maybe threes or something like that. Like, it's there. And it's like, for me, it's even some of the things that I've warned people about that was coming. um I was warning them about it a year before it even happened. I even told y'all about, there's people I warned about getting into situations with me and my kids and everything. Literally warned them face to face. Do not get yourself involved with what's going on between me and my kids, because this is a God's event. If you put yourself in the middle of it, there is going to be consequences for it. Now, I was told I'm putting voodoo on people because I say things like that. No, if you getting into God's business or whatever he got you doing with your situation, and you got somebody fighting against the godly thing that God is telling you to do, he got a way of sitting those people down and moving them out of the way. Or he'll give them a situation over in their place, what in their situation where they ain't got time enough to pay attention to the business that you got going on. And I'm telling you, if there is anybody that is in here and you going through something with your kids and your family or whatever, and then you got somebody fighting against the thing that you trying to do to save your kid, there is a consequence for the ones that will not move out of the way. And before you know it, you will see those tables have turned, and they'll be getting. Let me tell you something. I've lived it. I've seen it over and over and over again, and I'm still seeing it right now. Still seeing it right now. But the only thing I can do is I can give the warning. But I guess right now in my life, what's happening to me is give the warning and move on. And in that way, should I keep it to myself? I don't think I can keep it to myself. Because the bullhorn effect does not work for me. It does not work for me. And I can see that one of those things that I was going through where sleep was not happening for me or everything, that a lot of that was coming from, instead of me just giving the warning and moving out of the way, it was me giving the warning and also trying to save that person from whatever that consequence was. It was just like me was just trying to scream to him, no, switch it up, switch it up, switch it up. And I don't have anything to do with that. Nothing to do. So if you holding on to something that you just supposed to be the messenger and you supposed to drop it and move along, move along. Don't get caught up in the moment and just stay stuck there in it. Drop it and move. So for today, I am a weirdo. And before I came on to say anything about it or whatever, I probably would have continued the rest of my day out feeling like, you so stupid, you shouldn't have warned them. You so stupid, you shouldn't have warned them. That is something constant that I always hear in the back of my head. And I think I hear it because I heard it for so long in my life. You so stupid for crying. You so stupid for saying that about somebody. That's not true. They didn't really do that to you and they didn't do it. Well, you know what? None of those people who I said that did any of those things to me, not one of them yet has stood up in my face and told me, you lying. And I'm telling you, now that is one of the things that even if they not one of those people have stood in my face. I'm telling you, a couple of them that called me a liar when I came face to face with them, they've never been able to stand in my face. Never been able to stand in my face and tell me that I'm a liar. Nope. And especially when you find that thing on the inside of you that gives you that oomph. Now, see, that's one of those things. It's like, you can, call me a liar and say whatever it is, but it's like I'm willing to stand because I told you for 40 something years, I stayed that liar. And I'm telling you, it took one hug from one of my predators in my grown life, because the ones that do these evil things to kids and stuff like that, they seem to think you forgot about it. They seem to think. But once they come face to face with you, trust me, they know for sure that you didn't forget about what they did to you. They know it. They can feel it the same way you felt some type of way all of those years and all of those things that keep coming back to your head. They want you to stay in that place of where you think it's your fault. If you wouldn't have did X, Y, and Z, that wouldn't have happened to you. Those things is things that try to keep you in that place so that you can't grow past that spot. But I'm here to tell you, find somebody who means something to you. Just look at somebody that means something to you was like the same age you were when those things that was happening to you, and see if you will say the same thing about those people. So I'm saying, basically, I'm saying, like, if there is a, if you were in my situation, the furthest back that I can remember is like between the ages of 5 and 6. And I always go back to this because that's the first thing that I remember is me being kidnapped, um, and things happening to me. I found my daughter. Um, I love you, Phoenix. Thank you for coming. Always coming through, girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You enjoy your day. I'll see you next time. When I was going through that moment after I went to, and I told a story on here. It's up under my videos. I told a story about it's called Exposing the Ugly Truth. Um One of my predators showed up in at my mom's funeral. And after he gave me that hug, it sent me into this spiral of where I felt like he had done the things to me all over again. And I call myself all kinds of names and everything. But I'm telling you, if you can find somebody who is the same age that you were when those things are happening to you, you will find that you will quickly forgive yourself for a whole bunch of different reasons. I'm not saying put that on that person, but I'm saying look at what a 6-year-old looks like and the capabilities of a 6-year-old, and you will know you cannot possibly take the blame for any of that stuff. There's nothing, because you didn't have the powers in your hands to be able to change it at the time. Um, you will begin to throw that in the trash. If you can find somebody, and it doesn't have to be somebody that means anything to you. If something was happened to you when you were 6 years old, and I don't care if it was 6, 11, 12, and 13, and these people is way, way older than you, whatever age they is, you go back and you find what abilities do a person at that age have to change the situation that they are facing at the time. Um, and you'll find there is a whole bunch of forgiveness, because in the first place, it is not your fault. Not your fault. So, I feel like if there is nothing, anybody got any questions or anything for me on today, you don't have to have any questions. But other than that, I feel like I done said everything that I needed to say. Thank you, Phoenix, again. Um, if there are no questions of me or anything, I feel like I done said everything that I need to say at this time. And I think I'm gonna get ready to end the live. Just anybody calling you names or whatever, something that you know is not you or whatever, learn how to embrace it. Learn how to embrace it, take your power back from it or whatever. And one of the ways is I always tell my sister in life, in her real life, that, and that's Shalissa, that's me. Um, I always tell her that anytime somebody call you crazy, and that's like me, on the real tip, when I talk to her, I literally always call her crazy and stupid. And that may sound very mean to you, but I do it, and we always laugh about it, because there is, it used to hold a power in her life for people that try and make you feel like you crazy and stupid all the time. And so with every time, like, she can call me and we talk about these certain situations, and some of them she don't even have to tell me about. And I always remind her, Girl, you know what you thinking. It don't make no sense because you crazy and you stupid. And we always laugh about it. Because at that moment, she already knows she ain't as crazy as people try and make her seem. So what I'm saying to you, when people try to take words and stuff like that, and they try to bash you over the head with them and try and make you feel less than, take those words and instead of them being sour and tasting like just a lemon, go grab the bag of sugar from out the closet and sprinkle a little bit in it and sweeten it up. Because lemonade tastes good. And it even tastes better when you grow your own lemon. So I'm always in with this. Listen, if you go into the grocery store and you buying the stuff in the grocery store, you can't trust what the packages say, organic, this, that, or the other. The only way you can trust it is if you grow it yourself. So I would like to say I thank you all for coming over and joining Life with Tashana, where life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. But over here, we believe in growing. They call us the high class gardeners. And that's like, what does that mean, Shauna? How can you be a high class gardener? High class gardener mean we go out in the garden and we grow all types of stuff. I grow stuff that come from the grocery store and all of that type of stuff. But being a high class gardener means we don't play around with no snakes. They run us out of the garden. We don't play around with no bugs and no worms. Um, there's other people to do that because so my girl Cassie, you asked me. She said, "Well, how you a gardener and you scared of all of those things, honey?" I said, "We grow food. I don't say we play around with those things. And in real life, we don't play around with those kinds of things. We don't play around with snakes, bugs, and worms. And we all got those little names from the places that we come from. Oh, that's a snake right there. If you a real person and you slithering on the ground like that, we don't play with you. If you a worm, you wormy, you a worm or whatever. We don't mess around with that. And a bugaboo, we don't mess with those either. So, but we do pray for them though. But anyways, if the best food that you can trust is the food that you raise and you grow yourself. So grow your own food. And that's what I'll say. I appreciate you all for coming over here and joining with me because you could have spent your time anywhere else, but you decided to come over here and spend your time with Life with Tashana. And I appreciate you for that. Y'all have an amazing, blessed rest of your day and happy holidays to you. See y'all later.